Hello friends, today we will be starting towards what is the Bhava Maya Vyamikshate. Bhava Maya Mamikshate. That means the feeling, the what the Bhava is. Yesterday I have taken the explanation, what I have given the explanation previous day before yesterday or day before yesterday with all the explanation which includes in only one video that I have given the explanation yesterday. So today we will be going with the shloka which says the feeling of every individuality. So what is the main focus of the meditation, and what the gunas comes here, and what the shloka says? So in that view I will be going to explain, but the way I am going to explain, the way you should be in, the way I am going to explain, and the way you should be in. The way you should be in is nothing but the concept of concentration of the power of a mind is the only instrument to help us see God. The concentrated mind is a lamp that shows us every corner of the soul. So this is what the concept you should be with the focused, and take all the explanation regarding what I am going in a way to explain. So taking the words as a explanation of the Swami Vivekananda has said in the state of in the view of meditating. So this is how I will be giving what is the type of the what are the feelings of in the way when you are in a meditative state, and what will be the feelings of without the meditation. So this is what the concept I will be explaining today, and furthermore I will be giving the explanation as well. And so let me give you a shloka, what the meaning of that. So let me spell the shloka. Sarva bhuteshu yenaikam bhavam maya vyaya miyakshate avibhaktam vibhakteshu tajnanam vidhi satvikam. Once again I will be giving you sarva bhuteshu yenaukam bhava maya mavyayam mikshate avibhaktam vibhaktesu tajnanam vidhi satvikam. That means what the satvika is nothing but the sarva bhuteshu, everywhere what all the environment creates is the sarva bhuteshu. So what is that? Ye naukam bhavam meya veya mamikshate. So bhava, feelings of that what the environment creates, the feelings of what the environment create is nothing but vidhi satvikam. So only the satvika way is the creating of the environment. Yesterday I have explained only the positiveness, only the positive, the concept of the positiveness is created by the environment itself. The naturality, the humanity which is created by the Brahman, which is created by the Brahman, and the concept of arrow and bows, the arrow and the bow, soul and the Om, and the Brahman is the target. So this is what the concept you should be in. So in this way, being in a devotion, being in a meditative state, you will be having the purity of the thing. That is what the bhava yamikshate. So bhava, so having the feelings of satvika, what the shloka states us, avibhakto vibhakto tajnanam vidhi satvikaha. So vidhi means what the traditions, what the human nature demands, What the human nature demands is nothing but the humanitarian of individuality with the others who comes and creates the environment regarding. But the creating the environment regarding, we should be identified that is why the concept of the meditation I have brought to be in that concept, and take all the explanation regarding what I am going to give the explanation regarding. Okay, so here what the shloka says I have explained, and the same translation what the translation give in a broader method, broader way of thinking is, when the understanding enables one to see an immutable oneness in all beings and an undivided whole in all the manifold shapes, know that to be a true light. So what is the meaning of the true light here is nothing but the meditative state who creates of his own self as a positiveness, and the positiveness who gives the positiveness to the environment to create the environment which is given as the Brahmans. As the Brahman, the target of giving the positiveness, Brahman is nothing but the arrow and the soul to innering man of Satvika. Innering man of Satvika is nothing but the accuracy of the Sattva Guna. Accuracy of the Sattva Guna is nothing but the positiveness of the oneself, individuality, towards your inflow and the outflow, what the environment you want to create. That is what the you should understand. Shapes, manifold shapes, know that to be a true light. So when I am giving the translation of this sloka, it states the broader mind of what the shloka says. So when we come across the equilibrium, there is the active, inactive, and the equilibrium. So three of the gunas we should combining to take the decision. So this is what the Swami Vivekananda says, to be in a state of equilibrium. Not only in the sattvic way, not only in the rajasic way, and not only in the tamasic way. The fluctuation of the tamasic way and the rajasic way, avoiding, eradicating the tamo guna and rajas guna in a particular way, in a particular sense, taking the extension of the sattva guna as his own individualness is the positiveness. So when the creating of the negativeness implies that the rising of the tamo guna and the rajas guna with the reduction of sattva guna. With the reduction of the sattva guna, they influences the two guna, the rajas guna and the tamo guna. This is what the influencing of the negativity in the positive process. The environment they creates, and there is a forces which can be converting the man with a particular sense of gunas as well. So one should understand, analyze the fact what I am going to state and explain with. So understanding the individuality and the understanding the positive energy and the negative energy which is influencing by others and which is introduced by yourself, and the fact you should be knowing the environment created by others and the environment which should be in your own self. This is what the one should be in a presence of his own self. So when we talk about the undivided and the wholeness and feelings, bhava mavayamikshate, when we calling about the, when we are going with the feelings, Let me take the one of the situation which I will be giving the example as a situation to understand how the conversion comes into light in a democratical way, as well as in the spiritual process. Okay, let me give you example. There is a B, C, D and E. It will be extend. Let me give you other name. A1, A2, C, A3 and A4. Okay, let me give you so that we can be understand very easily, because of same understanding with a different numerical numbers, we can understand very much very early. So that's what I am taking this. Okay, A, one of the person, A2 is one of the person, C is the one of the person who is having the way of equilibrium. Understand this. The way of the equilibrium is the C. This I have differentiated because one should understand the difference between the tamo guna, sattva guna and the rajas guna and the tamo guna and the sattvika guna. So that's what I have used the different of word C. Okay, and A3 and A4. A4 will be coming afterwards, and A3 I will be introducing it. So there is the situation which is created by certain consequences. So you will be understanding the what is the feeling of sattva guna, the rajas guna and the tamo guna, and who will be taking the action regarding the sattva guna as well as with the equilibrium. Okay, let me give you the example. When A discuss with the C, there is a sattva guna, there is a rajas guna and the tamo guna. Let it be. We will be understanding that. There is a discussion going on A to C. And when C to A, it is going, there is a discussion going on. When A becomes, when A gives the discussion message of the to the A2, when A gives the message to A2, the A2 gives the message to A1 as there is the fluctuation creates. There is a fluctuation created by A2 and to the A, because there is the A2 and AC, there is a the tamo guna and the rajas guna, because there is a fluctuation of understanding. The first I am using the word A2 to the C. There is a fluctuation of understanding because of certain feelings which is not regarding the C. When I am saying this A2 and C, there is a concept of relative and relative values. When I am giving these three things, there is a relative and a relative value. So when it is I am giving the relative and the relative value with the feelings of certain feelings of gunas, which is very much introduced by the Bhagavad Gita. Sattva guna, rajas guna and tamo guna. So when A is passing the message to C and C is passing the message to the A, and C is passing the message to A2 as a confliction, because there is a disturbance created by the A2 itself. So when I am giving the destruction caused by the A2 itself, mean that rajas guna and the tamo guna has come introduced it. Rajas guna and tamo guna has introduced, A2 has introduced itself. So when A2 has introduced itself with the concept of taking the example, A2 gives the message of A2 gives the message to A as the tamasic with a C. So there comes the conflict between the A and AC. A and C. when the conflict become the A and C, and the creator the creating of the tamo guna and the rajas guna is with the A2. So on this the misconcept and misbehavior with regarding the tamo guna and the rajas guna. When C is taking the action with regarding the sattva guna and the equilibrium with the managing of the A2 and A. When C is taking the steps of A2 and A with the managing of the equilibrium, because when A2 itself introduce the A2 itself introduce the sattva rajas guna and the tamas guna, and introduction of the A2 with the A and the A to the C can introduce that there is the confusion between three of the understanding with regards the situation. So there comes A3 as a one of the concept of giving the equilibrium concept, being in a equilibrium concept as introducing his own self. What is this? Introducing of A3 as his own self as a equilibrium, because he is unaware of the what is the guna has taken place before. He is unaware of the A3. So there comes the introduction of the sattva guna, tamo guna with the equilibrium. There is a confusion of that twos. The rajas guna, tamo guna and the equilibrium. There is a conflict. Conflict of other who has come. A3 has introduced. I have bring the word A3 because there is the equilibrium. He has the concept of making all the environment in a equilibrium form, but he is unaware of the gunas what he have introduced earlier. So when these all are in a particular situation, there is a conflict of A2, C, A3. So when these all things are being on a C with who is having the sattva guna or a equilibrium which introduce of managing such a situation, which is to be with the A, which is to be with the A2, which is to be with the A3. But A3 is unaware of the situation what is created with C of by A2 and A. So when we are taking the concept of all the situation which is created by this is to understand oneself, individuality. So this is how the bhava, feelings, what are the feelings of A1, A2 and A3 is nothing but the difference of the sattva guna and rajas guna and tamo guna, which A3 itself, A3 has introduced the equilibrium, but there is a conflict between A2, A2, A and C, who is in the confusion of taking the action regarding the A3, because of the previous messages, what the discussion, what the messages has passed of A2 C and C to A and A to A2 and A2 to A. So this is what the feelings with bhava mavayamikshate. This is what the vidhi sattvika. The vidhi sattvika is nothing but the concept of environment is the only one sattvika guna. But introducing of one in a certain situation, the introduction of A2 is the main thing to understand the Rajas Guna and Tamo Guna. When there is introduction of A2 of Rajas Guna and Tamo Guna, the A of having the position of knowing, but avoiding of that knowing the position of regarding the C and the, there is a concept of individuality. There is a concept of individuality, but understanding of one's individuality, lack of one's individuality, I have brought this all series, which is very much needed of everyone's situation. Everyone's situation which considered to be in having the same concept of understanding individuality of gunas, which is introduced by the Bhagavad Gita. So concept of this can make when I am giving the A2, C and A3, there is a confusion. There is a confusion between these three, as I have explained. And the moreover, when it is with that, when we come across the democratical way in the understanding, the democratical way of understanding, when we come across this fact, the gunas, the A2, C and A3, there is the introduction of the A4. The A4, when it is introduction of the A4 of the democratical way, the introduction of A4 with a democratical way, there is a unaware of the situation created by oneself, the situation created by others, and the situation which is implemented in the execution. This is what the concept of democratical way of introducing, the democratical way of taking the action regarding. So one should understand all the concept of what I have used, the explanation regarding the A2, C and A3 and the democratical way of A4 as your own concept of understanding the gunas. There comes the feeling. What is the feeling? This is what the feeling of oneself and the other feelings and the dominating feelings and all the feelings which is sattvika feelings and the tamosika feelings and the rajas gunas feelings. There is the introduction. I have taken the particular A2 as a introducing the feeling of rajas guna and tamo guna. This is how I have used, because to understand the easy understanding between all the relationship, relative and relative values with the democratical way as well, because this is what one should understand. This understanding, lack of understanding, can make the diverting towards the democratical way. When there is the democratical way I am talking, there is a concept of judiciary. When it introduces the judiciary, there is the fact checking. There is all the process which includes the sattvika guna, individualness. There comes the individualness of understanding. So before this, what I'm trying to say is the feelings, the oneness of immutable oneness in all being and an undivided whole in all the manifold shapes knows that to be a true light. But there is a fluctuation of the thinking with regarding the A2, C, A3 and A4. But the C is itself introducing the equilibrium from the earlier time. The introduction of A3 is as others comes to take as the unaware of the situation created by the A2 with the A and A2 with the C. So intermediation. I have used a word that the concept of sapta vabodasya. Swapna Vabodhasya. I have used the concept of Swapna Vabodhasya, which related to the Honorable Justice, Supreme Court Justice has given the words of managing the elders with the angers. Managing of the elders with the angers. This is what the concept the Supreme Court Judge, Honorable Judge Nagaratna has introduced, given the statement of understanding. This is what the concept the Honorable Judge has given to understand. So this is what the concept I am trying to give all the situation which is regarding to the democratical way, under which is regarding to the oneself understanding of the gunas, which is introduced by the which is given by the Bhagavad Gita, and as well as the Swami Vivekananda has given it. So there, when I am giving this example, there comes the domination where it is A2 has dominated the A and the C, and the A3 has introduced with the equilibrium, but it is no use. So domination deliberately divert is nothing but the thinking which is discussed by the A and A3 C is the diversion. There comes the diversion. So when it domination deliberately divert, there is the fluctuation of a thinking. When there is a fluctuation of the thinking, the decision diverts. So when there is a decision of divert is nothing but there is an introducing of his own presence. Without the his own presence, patience, the concept of tamo guna has comes. When the concept of the tamo guna has introduced, there is the introduction of the guna, as well as there is the introduction of confusion, which creates the negative energy. There comes the concept of identification of negative energy and the positive energy, who influence the negativity in the influencing of the positive process in a spiritual process, in the positive in a spiritual process. This is what the domination deliberately divert. So what we should be taking the action in a certain situation, direction makes the detected decision. There comes the direction, what we should be in a direction of detected, we should be detecting to take the decision towards. So there comes the devotion, there comes the concept of devotion, which gives with the focused mind. There comes the concept of devotion, which gives the focus of mind. The concentration of the power of the mind is our only instrument to help us to see God. This is what the early starting video I have given the so what the Swami Vivekananda has introduced as a meditation. So same I am giving the statement of concentration of the power. So being in a devotion, having the having the understanding of three of the gunas with regarding the environment created by and the environment with your own self, having the concept of taking the decision which is introduced by others, as well as introduce of your own self. That is the presence of inflow of positiveness towards the outflow of the positiveness. There, if the missing of all the concept of these, there creates the domination deliberately divert. So it can turn towards the domination, nothing but the eradication of the fundamentalism of individuality. When the eradication of the fundamentalism of introduced by the democratical way, there is a confusion created between. And the concept of the introduction has being in a certain position and going and being in a certain position and be going in the towards the tamo gunas, which is very confusion created by one's individuality. So this is what the relation I used to give with the concept of all the relations, which is to be democratical way, or which is to be the created by others, and which is to be the creating of the internal. So this of all the understanding, one should understand this concept and take the decision as diverted. The main thing of this video is nothing but the explanation, which is towards the meditation of being in a focused mind. This is how one should take the lamp that shows us every corner of the soul. Soul is nothing but the feelings and the sense of every individuality, and taking the decision towards. So let be on a series, so that I will be giving the concept which is very necessary towards the identification of the positivity thinking and the negativity thinking. As we go on the series, the analyzation of the negative energy will be introduced in videos, and you will be having the certain traditional concept of all the thing which is included in a sattvic way, sattva gunas. So you can be understand, and you will be taking the decision as directed towards. Be on a series and go on the explanation what I am introducing yourself for your understanding. Analyzing and taking the action is the main motive of all the series which I am bringing towards you. Okay, be on a series and be the acceptance and to expect with all the concept which you are going in. Okay, thank you. Jai Shri Ram, Jai Bharat, Vande Mataram.